This is an embroidery hoop. We don't have a lot of these, but some of you may need to use these if you're having trouble with the fabric being too floppy. So you just take the bottom rim and you slide this top one over it, stretching it tightly, and then you tighten up the screw. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 different stitches that you can use to do your applique work. And just as a quick reminder, when you're tacking down your fabric shapes, you don't want to put very much glue at all. The purpose is just to hold it, stabilize it until you can get your decorative stitching done. You don't want to put glue where you need to stitch or where you want to do things like sew on a button. This stuff dries pretty hard and it's kind of difficult to push a needle through. Not impossible, but difficult. So I'm going to just use this square as an example. I am going to sew a button in the middle, so I don't want to put any glue there. I'm going to do stitching on the side, so I don't want to glue there. So I'm just going to barely...
Oh no! I'm having trouble with my glue bottle. If you're not sure how much is going to come out, you might, if you've been working on a clogged glue bottle, you might want to test it out on a piece of paper first. Or move your project out of the way. Whoa! That's what I mean. Alright, so we know it's not that part that's clogged. You can unclog a glue bottle by unfolding a paper clip. There's the problem right there. It's important to keep these glue bottles closed when y'all are not using them so that this does not happen. Let's try it again. There we go. Alright, so back to what I was saying.
I do not need much of this at all. If I put too much, it's going to seep through the front. So that should be just enough to hold it in place. Y'all are going to be using lots of different colors of embroidery floss. We have all kinds of colors, and they come in little packages like this. There's usually an end, and sometimes it will pull out easily, sometimes not. If not, you can just slide these off of there and carefully unfold about an arm's length or a little less, depending on what you need. I taught y'all how to thread a needle when we made our bean bags. So if you need help with that, just let me know. With the embroidery floss, you should not need to tie it on the needle. Just leave a long tail on there. And you don't want to double that up. So you can see it's a single. I've got a length where that's not doubled up to get started. You always want to remember to tie on your stitches.
Yeah, tie on your stitches.
The first stitch I'm going to do is a back stitch. So you're going to pull it through, leave a little bit of a tail, and go back through. And if you have enough of a tail, you're going to tie this on.
Yeah, I mean, you really just got to remember to tie on your stitches.
I would tie it twice, and then you can start your stitching pattern. This is going to be a back stitch. I recommend that you pencil in your lines, and that will help you stay on track. Something else I forgot to mention is that when these edges fray, there's something called a pinking shear. And if I was worried about these fraying really badly, I would maybe have considered using pinking shears. So this is the zigzag scissors, and they cut a zigzag pattern on the edge. And the purpose of these is to minimize the fray. It doesn't prevent it completely, but it minimizes the damage. So I could have done that to this piece, but I'm not going to worry about it for this video. I didn't worry about that on my pillow either. Okay, I kind of like the little frayed edge on this style of applique work. It's just kind of rustic and fun. So, all right, the first stitch pattern is going to be the back stitch. This is the one we used when we made the bean bags. So I'm going to come up from the bottom of the line and go back through the previous hole. Go up through the line a little ways down. Try to keep your stitches the same width and back through the previous hole. You want to pull these through there slowly, so if they start to knot up, you can kind of loosen it up and straighten out your thread before you pull it all the way through, because sometimes it will make a huge knot. Okay, so now you can see my double thread is, I need to make sure I pull that tail through. There we go. All right, so I have some single thread here. I had to shorten my tail so it didn't get caught up in the stitch. This is what I'm talking about. So it started to knot up.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And I caught it soon enough. Sometimes if your tail gets really ratty, it's gonna keep getting caught. So you can take your scissors and cut a clean end on that tail, and it will pull through easier. Okay, and then don't forget to tie it off on the back. So to tie off your stitching, when you end it, you're gonna go through a previous stitch on the back side, go through the big loop, and pull tight. I would probably do that 2 or 3 times through the stitch, through the loop.
Oh, yep, you gotta tie off your stitches too, or it's all gonna fall apart.
Pull tight. This next stitch, actually, I'm not sure what it's called. I think it might also be called a blanket stitch without the solid back stitch attached to it, which is what I'll show you in just a little bit. The next stitch is a solid line of back stitching with the blanket stitch attached. This last stitch that I'll show you is called a running stitch and appears to have spaces in between your stitches. Try to make each stitch the same width and the same distance apart. This is how you sew on a button. You're going to come through from the bottom, put the button on, leave a tail so you can tie it on, go back down, center the button where you want it, go back down through the button, pull it through, pull it tight and tie on the button. Once you tie it on, come back up through the other holes. And go back down, coming up and down through the holes several times, and then tie it off again on the back. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find where to push the needle back through, but you will get the hang of it. Next, I'm going to show you how to sketch any details you like and go back and stitch over them. Feel free to freestyle stitch or use simple back stitching until you cover up all of your details. You can use a Sharpie or a pencil to sketch directly onto your fabric. Another thing you can do is sew on beads. Make sure that your needle will actually go through the bead that you chose before you start to stitch it on. Come up through the bottom, through the bead, and back down, similar to how you did the button. Another thing you can do is freestyle stitch to fill in solid shapes. So any tiny details that you have, instead of cutting tiny pieces of fabric to create these shapes, consider freestyle stitching to fill them in. I want to show you here that I ran across the problem of having a spot of glue where I need to stitch. If that happens, you can use a hard metal thimble to help protect your finger to push the needle all the way through the glue. Okay, so there's the 4 stitches plus some other ideas for adding to your applique art. We have the back stitch, the running stitch, the back stitch with the blanket stitch, and the blanket stitch. We have freestyle stitching, buttons, beads, freestyle shapes. Have fun!
Thanks for watching!